Righty, you should be able to hear me if you are in chat. I will let you guys hear the debaters in a second. Alrighty, welcome to the Wynnish Leaders Debate, hosted by yours truly. This debate will be of the political party leaders of the Kingdom of Winland for tomorrow's election. They will at first call me Your Majesty, but then after that they may call me Sir. We have the Social Nationalist Front leader, Gabriel Sebastian. We have the Duke of Appensburg, who leads the Conservative Party. We have the Count of Wilsminster, who leads the Federalist Party. We have the Baroness of Linshire, who leads currently the Social Democrat Party. And you have the Count of Denton, who leads the Liberal Party. The Green Party is not present. This debate will be half text and half voiced. It was all text last time and it was not published on YouTube. Hopefully this time, though, it will be a majority voiced, but most likely not. Leaders and debaters will be given a question to answer, and each will have a chance to answer it. We have asked the leaders to not interrupt each other, so that way they can all have a chance to speak and get their thoughts out of their mind. Excuse me, I am not used to this. And after the debate, after all the questions have been answered, we will end the debate, and each leader will have upwards of 30 seconds to answer, and 40 if they are speaking, and 45 seconds to type out their answer if they are using text. Shall I begin? I am going to go ahead and begin and say, is your party for or against Wynnish entry into the Cupertino Alliance? I will turn it over to the Conservative Party since they are the current ruling party. And he has 45 seconds to respond. And I will also turn my desktop audio so that way y'all can hear the other debaters in the main section. I'm also going to fix this here so that way I come out of both sides of the speaker. There we go. All right.
Okay, sorry about that.
No problem. Somebody is answering, so let them answer. Are you done, Your Grace? Also going to actually use a 45-second timer next time. There we go. Alright, moving on to the next individual. I will move on to the Count of Willsminster. Your Highness, what will your party do with the Cupertino Alliance? Do you support joining, or do you support not joining?
Well, I think the thing about the Cupertino alliance is that really it's kind of a very shaky politically. I don't understand why the conservatives are agreeing to this. I mean, as conservatives, it's kind of in their name. They don't want to make themselves susceptible to foreign powers and more frankly relying on foreign powers. So I think as the true conservative party, we are totally against it. But at the same time, as the People's Socialist Party for democratic reform, we also believe firmly that our economy is not where it could be, and the proletariat are dominating our upper classes. So we need to look at this alliance as an opportunity for the working class, while also dismissing it as the rich trying to get richer.
Alrighty. I am going to let Gabriel Sebastian, the Deputy Prime Minister, now answer the question. Does your party support Wynnish entry into the Cupertino Alliance? I'll give you 45 seconds.
Absolutely not. I would say that the Social Nationalist Front would not support entry into the Cupertino Alliance simply for the fact that we do not need to be susceptible ourselves to the foreign powers of other foreign governments or the political power or economic powers of other governments in the world. I believe that we should push for our own self-sufficiency and avoid other spheres of influence that would rather hinder or go against not only the elites of this country but also the working class, as the Federalist Party leader also stated. The Cupertino Alliance, in my own opinion, seems to be more of a sham to get countries to fall under the cooperation and power of a sole entity. I yield.
Alrighty. I will move on to the Social Democrats. Is your party for or against Wynnish entry into the Cupertino Alliance? I will give her 45 seconds to answer that question. She does not know what that is. I will move on to the next leader. Is your party for or against entry into the Cupertino Alliance? The Count of Denton has 45 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one. No answer. I will move on to the next question. I believe I've gotten all the parties. What new and
Someone says there's a delay in your screen.
a delay?
Yeah, a 30-second delay. Look at general.
Okay. Well, yes, that's fine, but I'm still posting it. Give it a second. I will now take it back to the conservative leader, the Prime Minister. What new and original ideas will you bring to Winland? You will have 45 seconds. I will give him a few more seconds to finish up his thoughts. All right, I will move on to the Federalist Party. The Count of Will's Minister, what will you do to bring new and original ideas to Winland, or what ideas specifically?
Well, frankly, I think our justice system needs an overhaul and reform. Right now, the boys and I have worked up a brilliant new system, which we have begun the earliest testing phases for, and everything looks promising so far, by the way. We call it decimation. Essentially, our justice system will be completely reformed so that there is only one punishment, and there are only two verdicts, guilty or innocent. And essentially, how this punishment works is 10 criminals are held in a cell. Once there are 10 criminals in the cell, one is selected at random to be taken out of the cell, stripped, all their weapons are removed, etc., etc. And then the other 9 prisoners are given clubs, and then they proceed to beat the first prisoner to death. We believe that this will reform our criminals and teach them a lesson, not just about what happens or what could happen if you commit a crime, because it's entirely lottery based. It's possible that you could get away with it, but also to scar them permanently so that they are turned off of perhaps violent crimes.
Your time is up, sir. I will now turn it over to Gabriel Sebastian of the Social Nationalist Front. You have 45 seconds to answer the question.
Instead of choosing for more barbarous actions or other actions that the conservative
I resent
party,
that. I resent that. I think that was
Hey, order.
current policies. There are no current policies of our administration because our administration is completely inactive. We have 2 other party leaders, one of which has no idea what's going on. The Social Nationalist Front so far seems to be the only party offering anything, and that what thing we are offering is a free entrance into civil engineering classes so that we can teach our citizens how not only to start businesses, but how to farm, how to preserve their own water, how to create their own resources, and how to become self-sufficient, not only for the benefit
show
of the
you how to
state.
preserve your own water.
Order.
Woohoo. Yes.
Our
own reserves and our own self-sufficiency. That is the plan hands of the SNF.
I would like to add on. I would like to ask another question with that. It was not originally written down, but going off of what you said, are you thinking of creating some type of university where, of the first public education institute, basically, where you can learn civil engineering for free?
Absolutely. I
Oh,
feel that the
ridiculous.
necessities to learn.
Order.
I feel the necessity for our citizens to understand how to run a business and how to begin starting their own businesses can be beneficial to our economy and the working class. I also feel that the understatement, or not the understatements, the understanding of how to basically create your own water sources and farm and other means of resource production is also beneficial to our economy and individuals. I feel like it will eventually improve our GDP and our just gross resource production in general.
All right, I am now going to turn this over to the Social Democrats. What
Excuse
new?
me, Your Majesty, if
Yes.
I feel like I was targeted there, I would like to request a 60-second rebuttal.
I will grant you a 40-second rebuttal.
Very well. I think in your remarks there that you pointed out several times that these universities, I mean, you mentioned free engineering classes, and I think that's ridiculous. How are we supposed to have an elite class in this country who dominates the working class if we have free education? Who will work the mines? Who will do the dirty, dangerous jobs that nobody wants to? Furthermore, who will be the rich guy that stands up for workers' rights? Because the rich people oppress the poor. We need to invert the system. We need to fix its problems, and that's what the Federalist Party will do. Your absurd accusations are just that, and nothing more.
All right, your time is up. I am now going to turn it over to the SD, or the Social Democrats, as I believe it is their turn to at least give some form of answer, whether it's stupid or not. I don't know. What new and original ideas will you bring to Winland? I hand it to the Baroness of Linshire. If she responds. Alright, she is clearly not going to respond. I will hand it over to the Count of Denton to answer this question. If he does not respond to this, I will assume that these two are not present and we will carry on without them.
I assume you gave him permissions to talk in there, right?
They should have permissions to talk. They should have permissions to talk. Yes. They all do, because they all have the political party. The political leader. Roll. Alright, I am going to move on to the next question. How will you fix our issue of inactivity? I will hand it over to the Deputy Prime Minister, noted Duke of Appensburg. I will roll him properly. He should now be able to speak in here. Does he want... Okay, hold on. Go ahead, Gabriel. You may answer the question. How will you fix our issue of inactivity? I will give you 45 seconds.
I would provide a mandatory meeting time and date for Parliament to agree upon at the session after each election. Essentially, what we would do is we would all personally agree upon a time and date for us to meet at least once a week and provide legislation for Parliament. That would be my initial plan for that.
Alrighty, I will hand this over to the Count of Willsminster.
Well, our solution is,
you have
is
45
very simple, Your
seconds.
Majesty. We've already vetted people. We've done some research. My party has conducted a very thorough evaluation of our current government and its weaknesses. And we believe that all of our problems can be solved pretty easily through making the penalty for not attending an Unterhaus meeting death. And we believe that this can be accomplished rather simply through our current justice system, though the reformed justice system will also make this quite easy. Additionally, we believe that this can be streamlined by spending more money on our defense as opposed to, say, giving people free college educations. Furthermore, we believe that
Your time is up, Count. I will now hand it over to.
Hold on. I would like to request a rebuttal to everything that this man has just said.
I will give you a 30-second rebuttal.
You are supposed to be the leader and the representative of the Federalist Party, something in American history that was represented by Alexander Hamilton and other founding fathers, all of whom have opposed aristocracy in the United States and such barbaric actions that you have produced for yourself here and your party. You are a joke. Simple as. You don't deserve to be here. You don't deserve to be in government. I yield.
May I have a rebuttal to that, Your Majesty?
May I respond to that rebuttal?
I am going to give the Baron of Christoph Haven his 45 seconds to talk, as he has been sitting here for a while, and if you still want to respond after that, Count, I will give you the chance. Your 45 seconds start now, Baron.
Mr. Sebastian, the fact that you have just insulted your colleague in this most honorable debate is a shame. Only the people of this country, but of the institution of the government of which you are supposed to represent. We as political leaders are not supposed to cause division. We're not supposed to divide these people. We're not supposed to insult our colleagues. And this is what you've done. And this is a shame upon the institution of which we are all obliged to follow. The institution of the government we are supposed to uphold. That made no sense. I yield my time.
Your Majesty, may I
Alrighty.
rebuke?
I will give the Count a 20-second rebuttal.
Okay. If I may, historically, actually, the Federalist Party was more well known for standing for elitism. For example, they opposed the Bill of Rights. Now, some argue that they opposed the Bill of Rights because they believed it would be a bureaucratic nightmare, but in actuality, there's far more evidence to suggest that they opposed the Bill of Rights because they feared the people, despite establishing, well, the first real republic.
Your time is up, Count. I would like to move on to the next question, if that is all right with everyone here. How is your government going to get us to our goal of 200 Discord members? I will give 45 seconds to Gabriel Sebastian. If he's here.
Further promotion of the server and other places locally. I believe that if we are to... I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared to answer this question. I believe that if we can further promote our server across other platforms and locally within the King's, the royal family and His Majesty's realm, then I believe that we can achieve many more than 200 members.
Alrighty, I will give the Count 45 seconds to answer this.
I'm sorry, Your Majesty, could you repeat the question for
I
us?
will reset the time and repeat the question. How is your government going to get us to 200 Discord members?
Well, that's really simple, Your Majesty. We've hired people like this in the past. We've got some really good influencers on the payroll here at the Federalist Party, as you can tell by the fact that we managed to get into this debate. And furthermore, if that fails, we have a series of only slightly illegal bots. in addition to our Plan C, yes, we have 3 plans, which involves voodoo magic. You see, I told you that that school for witchcraft would pay off in the end, and this is it, an investment paying off.
Alrighty.
So, part of the
I'm
best-
guessing one of you's gonna want to respond to that. Does anybody want to respond? I will give you a 30-second rebuttal.
Me as well.
Gabriel, Sebastian, order.
Your Majesty,
Yes.
I apologize. What was the question again? Since I have been.
I should actually, yeah, I should give the Sockdems a chance to speak. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a 45-second. Actually, I'll let Gabriel respond first. Sorry, I'll let Gabriel respond first, and then I'll give the Sockdems their time. Gabriel, you have 30 seconds to respond to this question to the count.
I would like to just continue my original thoughts and rebuke what the Baron of Kristappen originally said. But in my own opinions, everything that you have proposed here today is a joke, once again. And regardless of your little history check that you would like to provide me, it's irrelevant, considering what you have proposed here today. I would much rather a divided government than a government full of you fools.
Alrighty, I am going to give the Sockdems 45 seconds to answer the question of how is your government going to get us to 200 Discord members? 45 seconds.
If we could try our best to, well, try our best to push the limits. That's what I should say. Try our best to. Well, I'm nervous basically, but
Understandable.
understandable indeed. Just try our best. Push the limits. Yes, that's all I have.
Alrighty, I am going to give the Baron of Christoph Haven his 45 seconds to answer the question because I don't think he answered it already. 45 seconds. How is your you did? You
No,
did?
I haven't.
You haven't? Okay. How is your government going to get us to our goal of 200 Discord members? 45 seconds.
The conservative government in the past month or so since its election has been sort of lazy, and I say that both as a Conservative Party member and as a subject to His Majesty. We need to up our game, not only as a party, but as a representation of the will of the people of Winland. So in order to get activity boosted in this server and in the country as a whole, we have to try on a wider amount of fronts. We need to go on all sorts of social media platforms, not only on Discord, but as well on things such as Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, anything we could possibly find. I'm sure
Your time is up, Baron.
Your Majesty, I would
Yes.
like to add in.
Alright, I will give you a 20-second rebuttal. You may proceed.
I agree with the Baron of Crystalhaven. I do agree with him. We shall publicize this Discord server to other social media outlets from basically ranging from Twitter to Instagram. Basically, that's my only answer. We have to make this government more active than ever before.
Your time is up, Esri. I will.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
I am now going to proceed to our second to last question. How will your government deal with foreign relations with other micronations and maybe potentially the United States, our only neighbor? I will hand it off to the Count of Willsminster for his take on this. You have 45 seconds.
I'm sorry, who are you handing it off to, Your Majesty?
You.
Oh, well, you know I have bad hearing. Could you reset the timer for me, Your Majesty?
Yes.
Would that be allowed? Okay. So I feel like the only way to deal with our United States is, or the United States, our neighbor, is how you would deal with any other hostile entity.
And
I'm talking full-scale military protection. I'm talking armed guards at every border. We need to build a wall around our cities. We need to make sure that the United States can't infringe upon our sovereignty, because only through our unity and our sovereignty can we survive in this hostile world against a power that has nukes.
I would like to come in. I would like to come in, Your Majesty.
Hey,
I have
excuse me, it's my time, isn't it? It's
it is
my time.
still your
no, it is
time.
not your
Order,
I'm,
I
time.
I'm
demand
going to have
order.
I
Order!
have to
Order! It's still the time of the Count of Willsminster. I will bring it back to the 12-second mark. You may continue.
Okay, thank you, Your Majesty. Anyway, like I was saying, only through a show of force and strength, can we respond to this growing threat against our nation. All former relations with the nation must be cut, and we must only
Your
accept
time
trade in
is
the form
up,
of
Count. I
What's
already
yours?
heard that Esri would like to respond. I will give him a 30-second response time.
Let me be clear. Let me be clear. We cannot have a wall with the nation. For one, Donald Trump did that. It was expensive. Unbelievably and unfairly, we cannot have a wall because we cannot pay for it. We cannot maintain it. This is unbelievable. And we need new this is outrageous. How the people are gonna get in and out? How the people will pass by through this wall and see this. This is outrageous. And
Your
let me
time
be
is up,
clear.
Esri. I would.
Thank you.
with the pogo sticks we provide.
Order! Order! I would like to let the Baron of Christoph Haven answer the question of how will your government deal with foreign relations with other nations, not just micronations, but macronational as well. I will give you 45 seconds. You are muted, by the way, if you're trying to speak.
Excuse me.
It's still the Baron's time. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I would like to hand this time next to Gabriel Sebastian of the SNF. How will your government deal with our foreign relations? You have 45 seconds.
Apologies.
I'll reset your time.
In terms of foreign policy, right? That was the question.
Yes.
In terms of foreign policy, the SNF would pursue a protectionist economy. Um, I would not allow the outsourcing of labor, and I would push the nation to only engage in deals that would eventually benefit the nation and avoid foreign entanglements that could lead us to losing the sliver of our sovereignty.
Alrighty, I will move on to our last and final question. Is your party for or against the growth of the armed forces? And I would like to start it off with Esri. Is your party for or against the growth of the armed forces? I give you 45 seconds.
It depends. The reason why is because we need growth in the military due to struggling positions like a war. But there could be other reasons, like a massive riot or protest, a strike. But for now, I would like to say no to the growth of the armed forces, and probably say yeah, no. I will not allow our these so-called armed forces to be growth immediately until a situation, a scenario like a world war or a micronational war, perhaps not a big war.
Your time is up. I would like to hand the floor to the Baron. You have 45 seconds to answer the question if you are here. In order to not waste time, I'm going to assume you are not here. I would like to hand the time over to Gabriel Sebastian. Is your party for or against the growth of the armed forces? You have 45 seconds.
When Parliament comes into session again after this next election, I intend to propose a bill that will allow our estates, not so much our estates, but our other governing territories, it will allow them to create their own local forces. And I also intend to propose a bill that will allow uh, militias to form in order to protect the boundaries of our nation without having to extend a federal force. I believe that we do need to expand our federal armed forces. However, it is most important that we are allowing our exclaves to be able to protect themselves as well if the federal government cannot respond in needing time. I yield.
Alrighty. And last but not least, I will give the time over to the Count. Is your party for or against the growth of the armed forces? I will give you 45 seconds.
Oh, absolutely, Your Majesty. I'm sure you're familiar with the old proverb of Vienna. So Vienna was once a Roman territory, or the area Vienna resided in, but they were getting attacked by barbarians almost constantly, and Rome wasn't protecting them whatsoever. Winland is in a very similar relationship with the United States at the moment. So what did Vienna do? They moved out to unfriendly territory, swamp basically in the middle of a small lake, and they built on it, and it ended up becoming one of the most economically prosperous cities in the world. So I propose that we.
You cut out.
My apologies, Your Majesty. Like I was saying, I propose that we build a small swamp in our territory and build a city in the middle of it. And we will no doubt reap the same rewards that Vienna has, and also gain our independence from the United States, just like Vienna did from Rome.
Alrighty, your time is
Your
up.
Majesty,
Yes?
I would like to add on.
Alrighty, I will give you 20 seconds to respond.
So technically, you probably heard of the Aztec Empire, because the main city of North America was basically Tenochtitlan, which is a Aztec city, and they built over it from a lake. And then after the Spanish conquest or whatever during Mexican history and all of Mexican history, today all of the land from Mexico City it's starting the same cup. Yes, because it was built from a lake.
Your time is up, Esri, and that leads us to the end of the Wynnish debate. If you are watching from YouTube, I thank you for watching. We hope to see you at the polls tomorrow. And if you are from another country, have a great night and enjoy tomorrow. I will see you guys later. Adios.
Well, it was very productive, gentlemen.